All right, good morning, everyone. Today is September 2nd, 2020. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in Albany. Present today in Albany are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, and Commissioner Fan. Also in Albany, but in another location, are General Counsel Meyerhoff and Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts, who can both be seen on the video. And myself, Secretary Downey, who's also in Albany. There are next meetings of the members, the next regularly scheduled meetings of the full board are September 16th, September 30th, and October 14th. We're going to call the items in the order they are listed on the agenda. Chairman, do you have any announcements before we head to Commissioner Roberts?
I don't know.
All right. Deputy Commissioner Roberts, you have an announcement to make?
Yes, thank you. I have an announcement to make regarding fingerprints. Over the last several months, the authority recognizes that the ability for some of our licensees and applicants to get fingerprints completed has been problematic due to COVID. We are now at a point where much of the state has begun reopening, so we are requiring that all people with outstanding fingerprints have those prints completed by October 1st. If your application is outstanding and pending fingerprints, we'll be sending you a deficiency letter requesting that you get those fingerprints done by October 1st. If your fingerprints are not completed by October 1st, we'll be disapproving your application. When you get your fingerprints completed, you will be able to request reconsideration on the application. And again, we are going back to the point where we expect our fingerprints done to be within the 15 days noted on the fingerprint information being sent to you. That is all.
All right, with that, we'll proceed with the items on the calendar. First item is 1036, the conditional no contest offer of $2,000. Commissioner Fan?
These charges were issued, well, I suppose this location was visited just one day after the issuance of 202.43. And so there's a part of me that feels like they should be given some discount, just because the EO was literally issued on June 18, and these charges are June 19.
I would agree with you, except that one of the things that was observed was drinks to go. We have frozen drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they weren't selling any food with drinks, which was obviously, that had been in place for a long time.
The food thing?
No, the takeout.
Yeah, if I may, can you all hear me?
Yes.
So the reason for the executive order that gave the 100-foot rule was essentially in response to operators who were serving alcohol without food. And then when investigators came and said, you're serving alcohol without food, these people are congregating in front of your place, they would say, I actually just served that to go, and it's not my responsibility for where they decide to go and drink it. So it was really that type of defense and excuse that the executive order was designed to respond to. So I guess the question is...
But the order is wrong because the food thing happened after.
No, to go was always drinks with food.
To go was always, I see, I understand. Okay.
Right. So the question is whether this operator would have been violating the law. I mean, once we had an EO that more easily addressed the improper behavior, we would tend to charge that instead of charging them with an illegal to-go service under 202.3. So I understand your point, but I don't know that it necessarily applies to this particular case.
I get it. All right, I'll accept 2,000.
Accept 2,000.
Chairman Bradley?
Except.
Next item we have is 1037. This is a conditional no contest offer of $2,000.
Do you want to pull the 1139Z?
Do that if you want, sure.
Yeah, they both, there was a subsequent summary suspension, which we also have a CNC for.
This location had many warnings and obviously multiple cases here, so,
Yeah, and I do want to point out, the attorney says in his information that the only warning this person got was the charges from the 630 and the 626 violations, and that's completely untrue. The officers, and the reason I know this, and I didn't go to this location, but I have been with these officers, when they go in, they don't just make observations and leave. They go and speak to the manager and tell him what he's doing wrong. And so anything that says that the officers were there from this precinct, they went inside, because I've been with them. So I think that's, him trying, he may not be aware of that, or he's trying to mislead us, one or the other, but they have been warned. There's no question about that.
right, and there are 3 dates on here.
3 dates on 1139Z, and then 2 dates on 1037, which obviously is 5 dates in total.
Right.
And in May, it was 20 people out front drinking. In July 18th, it was 12 out front drinking. At one point in the night, with employees without masks. Later that night, there were 30 people out front drinking, no spacing, employees without masks, and customers without masks. Then on 7/24, 25 customers out front drinking. I mean, I have no faith that this guy is capable of complying, or has a desire to comply.
I know that's a problem. 5 strikes, I'm at cancel and bond.
All right, let's back on 1037.
I will reject it.
I'll reject the offer as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll reject it as well as cancel and bond. On both. These are both cancel and bond.
Okay, so for the first one,
Cancel and bond.
is that your counteroffer for the first one as well?
Sure.
Commissioner Ford?
Cancel and bond.
You can come in.
Then we'll do the same licensee is 1139Z,
Thank you.
and this is a CNC of $15,000, 11 p.m. closing, and no music. So Commissioner Pham,
I will counter at cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
This is, I'm sorry, 1038?
no, this is 1139Z, this is the same
Oh, the other one,
licensee.
yes, cancel and bond, yes.
And I'm cancel and bond.
Next item is 1038, the CNC for $1,500.
Well, let me, hold on, can we go, Gary, can that hearing be done, can those 2 charges be done at the same time? Just because I think obviously they're related and it would make the case clearer to the ALJ. There's no reason to waste resources.
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do the hearing at the same time, if that's what they want to do.
Okay.
They could also accept the cancel and bond, I suppose.
Right.
1038,
Accept 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
The next item is 1039, this is a CNC of $1,500.
I'm gonna reject this because there is a summary suspension on a upcoming agenda.
That's right, the summary suspension case is not on today's agenda.
Okay, I'll reject as well then. And just put it on the calendar with the summary.
There wouldn't be anything to put on.
The summary is at some point going to have an offer,
Yeah,
so make sure this follows that. Or the lawyer should make sure this follows that.
yeah, I mean, there needs to be something, some law.
Right, I get it.
Commissioner Ford,
Go to summary, reject.
I'll make sure that if the summary suspension, if there's an offer on the summary suspension case, that it comes up with the other case.
the next item is 1040, this is a conditional offer of $1,500.
Accept.
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 Right, the next item we have is a 1041. It's a package store application by 293 Green Wine LLC. We received a adjournment request this morning. Apparently the licensee, the applicant rather, wasn't aware there was opposition until this morning. The applicant, according to the applicant's rep, they thought this was before you because of a 200-foot law issue.
Hold on a minute.
Commissioner Fan?
Hold on one second, please. I'm not familiar. Are any of you familiar with this rep?
I'm not.
I'm not either. All right. I mean, that's just, for the record, unbelievable, but
Why we're not, I mean, the calendar.
not by the license, not by the applicant, by the lawyer.
The calendar was posted last week, and the one-page memo explaining why it's on was there.
I know. But, okay, go ahead.
All package stores come to the board, right?
I'll vote to hold it over September 16th.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll allow it to go to 9/16.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll adjourn.
Next item is 1042. $1,500.
I would accept.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item is 1043. It's a default on pleading.
I'm at 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, this is an American Legion. But they clearly knew that what they were doing wasn't right. I'll go to 1,000 as well.
Is it American Legion?
Yes.
Where does it say that?
I'm just saying, I know it is. I drive by it all the time.
It looks like it's a
Society-
Hispanic Society
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
It probably was American Legion, but either or.
Not to fight with the chairman, but it looks French to me.
Well, I don't know either language very well, so.
I could be wrong, but it's that type of organization.
But they had done the same violation, sale to a non-member, and that we fined them a low amount in May of 2019, so I'm with Commissioner Fan on it, it's $1,000.
1,000.
next item 1044. No contest default on a sale to minor case.
Cancel for the record.
Cancel for the record.
Just cancellation?
Is there a bond?
Yes.
Oh, then we'll take the bond.
Cancel bond.
Cancel bond.
Okay.
Cancel and bond.
Next item 1045. So conditional no contest plea of $3,000.
I'll accept.
Commissioner Ford,
10,000, I'm sorry, 3,000 accept.
Governor Bradley.
I'll accept.
1046. Conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
I'm gonna lower this to letter of warning. They've already paid $20,000 on the summary suspension matter.
Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, for the record, this is a case where we did the summary suspension before this earlier charge that was in the pipeline. At the last meeting, we did it, we accepted as, well,
Yeah, that was my question. That wasn't ready when they were on the calendar at the last
Correct.
meeting. Okay. So I'll go with a letter of warning as well.
Letter of warning.
next item 1047. Conditional contest offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Accept.
Governor Bradley. Next item 1048. Conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
This is employees with no mask.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Governor Bradley.
Accept.
Next item 1049. Conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford, Governor Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1050, is a conditional contest offer of $15,000. There's a summary suspension in effect in this case.
I would like to float the idea of lowering this because they had tables inside, but by the time the investigators went back on the same day, the problem was fixed. So I feel like there's some confidence that they will continue to comply. So I'm going to propose dropping by 5,000, 10,000.
So you're accepting the conditional offer and reducing to 10,000. Commissioner
Yes.
Ford,
However, I want to add the 11 PM close and the background music requirement, please.
okay, so that would be a counter offer then.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford,
Counter of 10,000, 11 PM closing, and what was the third one?
recorded background music.
I'll go with that as well, only because they've been open since 2011 and have absolutely no adverse history with this.
Chairman Bradley,
Yeah, I'll go with that. Was reading the wrong one.
next item, 1051, 1052, 1053, to conditional no contest offer of $9,000.
$9,000 accept.
Do we have anything else open on these guys?
I don't think so, but I'm checking.
These are three separate cases, COVID related. They were,
Why did we take 9,000?
because it was all pre-task force.
Nothing else doesn't appear other than a renewal notification back in 19.
All right,
I'll
This
accept.
this is not, I don't believe, you didn't suspend this license,
no,
right?
I mean, they are relatively minor violations, but,
Right.
okay, all right,
I'll accept 9,000.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll accept.
next item is 1054, to conditional no contest offer of $20,000, 11 PM closing. Is a summary suspension in effect for this location. Commissioner Pham,
I have some concerns about this place because, like the other ones at the last meeting, this place now thinks that they need security guards. So, hey, Adam,
Yes.
is this place on 1054? Are they allowed to have security guards?
Take a look.
Well, I've seen this place, they probably need security guards. It's a big outdoor beer garden,
Yeah.
not for the normal security guard reasons, but in order to comply with what's required right now, they probably do need people.
Okay, fair enough.
So it doesn't look like anything is prohibiting them. This licensee goes back before we asked about that information. So if it is something that they wanted to have, they could then go through a method of operation change and add security guards if that was something you felt was needed.
Okay, great. So
Can we just make that a counter
yeah,
right now?
If you'd like to.
yeah, so I was gonna counter, I would accept the 20,000 civil penalty, 11 PM close. I will add, background music only and a file change of method of operation for the security guards.
well, you want to impose security guards, or you just want,
No. I want them, if they were to
Oh, okay.
employ them, change it on the record with us.
Which they have to do anyway.
They have them, yeah, they should be.
all right, Commissioner Ford,
I'll go with the same conditions.
Chairman
I
Bradley.
will too.
All right, the next item is 1055, it's a conditional no contest offer $15,000, and Chairman, you're recused from this matter.
I would counter 15,000, 11 PM close, and background music only.
Commissioner Ford,
11 PM close, background music only. And counter, accept the 15,000.
next items 1056 and 67. Conditional no contest offer of $13,000.
Chairman, this is a third sale to minor on a C license. The other two were quite recent.
Yeah. They obviously have a problem. I mean, it's not automatic, but it's up to you.
The first pleading has the wrong charge. It should be, if they charge them as books and records retail on premises, it's not a
They're
retail.
allowed to have retail.
I mean, they're entering into CNC, but
Right, but they can amend that if they have to, so.
So you're saying that charge doesn't apply?
what I'm saying is,
If it goes to hearing, I
goes
have
to
to
hearing,
amend
I'll
it,
have to change it.
because the charge doesn't apply to off-premise licensees,
No, this is a wholesaler.
a wholesale,
Yeah.
I should say.
So Commissioner Fan?
I'll accept 13,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I was gonna counter it at 15,000. Like again, there, one sale to minor a year for the past 3 years.
I'll go to 15.
Kevin Bradley?
I would like to go to 15 and a scanner, which is the internet-based scanners, which council's office will sign off on.
Commissioner Ford and Commissioner Fan, you want to include that in your?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right, the next item, 1057. This is a request to extend the deadline on a conditional approval.
So can I just ask a question, because I'm not very clear here? It looks like, it says here, the members granted a 120-day extension on June 28th. So in theory, this is already at December 28th, and they want another 4 months after that?
Yeah,
Is that-
so it looks like that was originally done in March of this year. So we had extended them out to this time, July of this year, and they're looking for another 4 months. I do want to note that it was conditionally approved back in August of 18, so they're already at about 2 years.
Yeah, and just to be clear, because there's a number of these today, the COVID crisis, give or take, I'll give here, started in February of 2020. This guy got his conditional approval in August of 2018. So to sit here and blame your lack of opening on this current situation when you had the license for 2 years at this point, or the ability to get the license for 2 years, is not believable. I mean, I don't mind granting the extension again, but this is the last one.
Right, sorry, Adam, I'm still just not clear, because like in the back, it says that we had already granted 120 days on,
Back in March, so this appears to be a second request from the time that you had already done one.
so that expired on June 28th, is that right?
Would have been 120 days, so 4 months, so at the end of July. So it seems like, I mean, this, I have to look at when the request, Mr. Flynn's request came in.
All right, so on the March 9th full board meeting,
Mm-hmm.
the deadline was extended 120 days.
To
Just 4 months.
July 9th?
All right, so they're already 2 months over that.
Let me just check the notes to see when.
So really, that extension has now gone to almost 160 days.
Exactly, so,
Okay, so according to the notes in the workflow, that 120 days worked out to June
June
28th,
28th.
2020.
June
So
28th.
yes, technically, this application should have been disapproved for failure to comply back on June 28th. We have been giving some people leniency on timing of disapprovals based on the current situation, but Mr. Flynn's request did come in 6 weeks after the fact that he should have made the request prior to the June 28th expiration date if the client needed more time and knew they weren't going to be able to satisfy the condition.
Which, and I have no problem giving leeway in that sense. But my problem now is you've now gotten 18 months when you were conditionally approved to open. Now we've given you basically another 18 months. Not another 18 months, I'm sorry, 180 days. because now we're well past June 28th, we're now into September. So that's July, August. So you were at 180 days. Now they're asking for another 120 days.
Correct.
Yeah, but I also, on the flip side of it though, it's like if we just give them the 4 months as requested, they're gonna get it until October 28th, which is 7 weeks from now.
Yeah, I have no problem giving it. It's just getting old. The
Yeah, no,
excuse
I
is
get it.
getting old.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I'd be willing,
How about we go to February 28th, 21 and they call it a day? They have the winter to
Okay.
get through this. Is that okay?
Is that the final extension for the members?
Yes, yes,
2/28/21?
yes, and that should not even come back to the board again.
Got it.
Just
All right.
on that date, deny it.
Final, final.
I'm fine with
And
that.
Chairman Bradley, you're.
Yes.
Yes.
Next item is 1058. This is another request to extend, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. 1058 is a new on-premises liquor application, SAAK Imperial Cork.
So this is a restaurant with 8 employees, recorded music, a jukebox. It appears that they were approved as a restaurant wine, but never finished the conditions, so that ended up in 2019 getting denied. The principal has some experience and has some adverse history. The CB opposes, they actually believe it's a class change, they oppose the on-premise license. It appears to be a restaurant/billiards hall, and it is very large. So Adam, am I correct in that they did initially apply for an RW, it never happened, and now they're looking for an OP?
Yeah, that's correct. They never satisfied the conditions of that license, so it was never issued, and now they're looking to upgrade to a full on-premise with liquor.
So they look to have 8 employees, yet there's 20 pool tables, a catering hall, and a full restaurant. I don't know how that's gonna work.
They were supposed to obtain a public assembly permit, which they now have. I don't see it in the package here, but the attorney says that they do have it now. And they were operating with a temporary license from April of 2018 to July of 2019 with no issues that we know of. So the community board was opposed, from day one?
So they don't like billiard halls.
That's a billiard.
Well, now they actually have in the latest letter though, they do say that their service to minor, so I'm gonna vote to deny.
I'm sorry, what? In the, where'd you see that, Commissioner?
It's the board's policy to oppose all billiard liquor license as they allow, oh, I see.
Yeah. They said that they allow, but they didn't say that they
Allow.
did, so.
Can we hold over? Can we hold this over?
Yeah, if you have questions, do you have a question?
I have requested for an investigative report, but I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
So
9/16.
Mr. Ford, you're okay with that?
for investigative report? Yes.
Is that the email okay, so yeah,
That's fine, I understand,
Enforcement Bureau.
I understand what she's talking about, we don't need to.
no, there's an email, so it's in process. The next item is 1059. This is another request to extend the deadline for conditional approval.
Once again, they want 6 months, it will then be 2 years since we approved this license.
Yeah.
But
February 12th, 2021.
I will do the same,
Final extension.
yes.
February 12th, 2021, final.
Double secret probation.
Yes. So it's a good provision now.
Next item is 1060. The CNC for $1,500.
They set up an outdoor cafe for service when it was takeout only.
1,500. Accept.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item is 1061. This is a default on the pleading.
This is COVID-related, people lingering outside the premises, serving alcohol to customers to drink in front, no food was served with the booze.
And they ignored the pleading.
What would this be, though, in our,
I believe
Because
that
of the
they,
adverse
I believe
history?
I believe I don't have it in, well, maybe we do have it. Is the second page in the materials, Tom? I bet it isn't. The second page of the NOP?
No.
All right, I'm gonna have to pull it up. I believe it would be 2000, because they have an adverse history.
We don't normally include the second page
Right.
unless it's signed by the licensee as a plea.
Right.
Commissioner Fan thinks you're right, and I agree with her. I think that's what it is, so we'll just do that.
2000.
2000.
Commissioner Ford?
2000.
That was delivered too, by the way.
Right, my point is that they already, all right, let's move on.
Next item is 1062. This is a conditional no contest offer, $10,000. 11 p.m. closing. There is a summary suspension in effect for this location.
So this is a 25 patrons dancing in front and drinking, no mask, no social distancing. There was a live band, which is not permitted on their license. And there was dancing, and there's no dancing on their license. I think this is low. I realize it fits within what you're doing, but the conduct here seems very egregious to me.
No, I agree that even within the ranges that we've been trying to focus on, that this number is low.
I would go with 15,000.
15,000 and 11 p.m. closing?
And no music. No music. Not even background music.
All right, 15,000, Commissioner Fan, 11 p.m. and no music. Commissioner Ford?
15,000, 11 p.m.,
And no music.
no music.
Chairman Bradley?
Same. And no music, no background, no nothing.
No music.
And 11 p.m. doors shut.
Next item, 1063. This is a conditional no contest offer of $10,000. 11 p.m. closing, and there is a summary suspension in effect for this location.
I will accept 10,000. 11 p.m. close. Let me see, sometimes I let it see. Background music.
All right, so a counter offer with background music. Okay, Commissioner Ford?
I'll go along with that as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll do the same.
Next item is 1064. Conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
Serving customers alcohol without food, patrons inside premises drinking, and they were not conducting a food takeout service, but this was early on.
1,500 accept.
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 Okay, next item, 1065. Conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Accept.
Commissioner Ford?
1,500, accept.
Next item is 1066. Conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford?
1,500, accept.
Chairman Bradley?
Accept.
Next item, conditional no contest offer is 1068 of $2,000.
2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford?
2,000, accept.
Chairman Bradley?
Accept.
Next item is 1069. This is a conditional no contest offer of $20,000. There's a summary suspension in effect, and Chairman, you have to recuse yourself.
I thought I did.
It says a letter was submitted, but I don't see it.
That usually just means they signed the
Oh,
pleading.
no explanation, just sign the pleading.
Yep.
Well, hold on one second. Yeah, you're correct. They did not sign the pleading. They signed a separate plea form. They checked the box, they wrote in the number, and provided no other information to the board about the charges or how they intended to comply going forward. The case involved 25 people being served inside in New York City in mid-July.
Commissioner Fan?
Gary, there is a part of me that feels like if these are coming in with no commitment that they're actually going to be complying from here onwards, that we should reject them and ask them for that commitment. Because in theory, that's more important than the fines, right?
Well, without, I do believe that, I think my answer is yes and no. It certainly would give the board more comfort to have a clear message from the licensee about why it was having a change of heart and would now be enforcing the law when it was so not doing so in the past. However, having said that, I don't think anybody who agrees to pay a $20,000 fine in this environment, having had their license just suspended, doesn't have 20,000 reasons not to violate again, because they know that they're going to be under scrutiny, and if they make another mistake, they'll lose their license and the $20,000. So while I do agree that it would give you more comfort, I'm not prepared to say that this is not necessarily sending you any message of their future compliance. Having said that, it's certainly up to you to decide how to handle the matter. And we are, as counsel's office, setting these cases up in ranges that we believe are worthy of consideration, but without sanctioning or approving them as being the appropriate number for the board.
Okay,
I'm all right with 20,000.
yeah, I would take the 20.
And the music and the,
Yeah, and the 11 p.m., sorry.
So
11
you're-
p.m. close
Are you gonna add 11 PM,
and no music.
no music? Okay, it'll be counter offer, Commissioner Ford.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a place with blue lights.
Now, we say no music, they can come back and apply for it later
So they're being instructed that
at this
this
time.
is, this now becomes a condition on their license.
Okay.
And they have to then apply just like anybody else would to change their method of operation. Nothing, if anything changes with the COVID, then, so, and that's actually in the language. Everybody, all the summary suspension cases today are gonna get an email today, if possible,
Yeah,
explaining that also. With the
And
terms,
Commissioner Ford, so you know that any of these conditions that you're putting on licenses now would have to come back before the board for consideration in order to change that method of operation. So if they applied to have music again, that request would come back before the members for that decision, since the members are the ones who impose the conditions.
got it, thank
but
you.
that, and just to be clear, when that starts to occur, which obviously we're not there yet, generally, I'm speaking, that will be those will be expedited to the board. I'm not gonna request that licensing do a full review again. You can just send that request with everything else to the board, and we'll make that decision at that time.
And we could even talk about a way to address what could end up being a flood of them all at the same time.
Right.
But we'll figure that out.
Yeah, but it will not be a months-long process.
Shouldn't come back anytime soon.
all right, the next item is
Exactly.
10,
We're not worried about
10-7,
that.
conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
You know, her letter says 3,500, but I guess Lisa took care of this. It went down to
Hold on,
1,500.
let me double check.
Yeah, I noticed that, so.
Her letter says
No, no,
35,
but
and then
no,
she
they're-
signed
yeah.
another thing
The
that
form-
says
The
15.
conditional form
Mhm,
says $1,500.
mhm.
I believe, let me just check one thing.
Oh, this was a month later, she went down to 15,
Yes,
probably
there
because she
was-
learned the numbers that we're at.
There were discussions with the prosecutor back in June about a
Right,
possible offer.
right, 1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 1071, next item is 1071, 1072, conditional no contest offer of $25,000, no outdoor music, and 11 PM closing.
So this is a,
And this is summary suspensions in the.
Adam, is this a restaurant? What is this place? Because they have two days back to back where they were violative. I don't know that they got a warning on the first one.
Yeah, I looked at that, and we do not have information. I believe the first observations were an undisclosed inspection. So they were not informed on August 1st of the violation and then did the same thing the next night, but they did do the same thing, essentially, the same improper service 2 nights in a row.
So they are listed and licensed as a bar tavern. recorded music only, no DJ. These are full board stipulations, no DJ, no live music, no promoters.
And in this circumstance, they were using a DJ, and 20 people standing in the sidewalk cafe on the first, and then 25 with the DJ on the second.
All right. I will counter dropping from 25,000 to 15,000. No music altogether, no outdoor music. And close at 11.
Commissioner Ford,
15,000, 11 PM, and no music.
at all, right.
I'll go with that as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll go with that too.
Next item we have is 1073. It's another request to extend the deadline for conditional approval.
This license was conditionally approved in March of 2019. How long do they want, 6 months or?
March 1, 2021.
That's it, Adam.
Commissioner Ford, you with that?
To March 2021,
March 1st, 2021, and final.
I'm good with that.
All right. The next item is 1074. It's a package store removal. Licensee is D&S Wines and Liquors, Inc.
So this is a package store moving at approximately 300 feet. The current size is
30 feet.
30? No, that was a typo. I believe, just because it
Oh,
appears that the addresses are
Yeah.
too far apart.
So is it 30 feet or?
No, I believe it's 300.
I can,
Okay. Probably.
The
you're
current
right.
size
Makes
is
sense.
700 square feet. The proposed size of the new place is 950 square feet. Although apparently just with this move, the four closest stores did not remain the same.
Jeez.
Say they're moving because the rent went up and did not renew the lease. There's 4 stores within 0.6 miles. The closest store is 0.1 mile away. And the second closest store is brand new. But
I'll vote to approve.
So the map is still correct. It's just that
yeah,
the distance stated is 300.
I think it's a typo.
Yeah,
well,
and they're going from a bulletproof to a non-bulletproof configuration. And the other,
it depends how you measure it. If you measure it walking distance, it's, according to Google, it's 243 feet, but essentially they're diagonally across the street from each other.
Diagonally across the street.
And it's about,
Well, that's not 30 feet.
Yeah, so then it's 300 feet.
the buildings are 300 feet apart, I can tell you that from looking at the map.
Well, I said approximately. I'll give you 200. All right.
No, it's more like, it's probably just like literally across the street.
Oh, so it is 30 feet.
It's like they're just offset a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
so
How could walking be too? Oh, because you got to go down to the
Because
corner.
it's showing you walking down the street, going across the crosswalk, and coming back, and be a good citizen. Okay, walking.
we're talking about the hypotenuse, then, right?
Yeah, that thing.
I love using that word whenever I can. So anyway, 2 of the closest stores are bulletproof, and this one's going to be non-bulletproof. It's going from bulletproof to non-bulletproof. And although there was a store licensed in 2019, I'm going to vote to approve it.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve as well. It's really, if it is as close as Tom says, which whether it be 30 feet or 250 feet, to me, that's close enough that I don't see it affecting any of the other stores. It's certainly convenient to the customer base that he has right now. So I think there is public convenience and advantage to keeping it in that area.
But the next item is 1075. It's a alteration of a package store, Cotter's Valley Wines and Liquors, Inc.
Chairman, Commissioner Fan, did you vote on the last one?
Yes.
Yes, she voted to approve. This is, the applicant is seeking to expand into the adjacent store to increase his size. It's a Dutchess County liquor store, currently has 1,582 square feet. The new one would be almost 3,000 square feet with 2,700 square feet of retail. The closest stores were not informed. Adam, is that not normal? Do we not notify the closest stores when we do alterations like this?
Your mic is off.
You're on mute.
Apologize.
Sorry.
No, we don't notify the closest stores when alterations are being done.
Okay.
I'll note that they applied for this alteration, I don't know, I may have missed you saying this, but they applied for the alteration the day they got their license. April 20th.
That is
Oh.
correct.
I did miss that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
That's
that's an
somewhat
important
disingenuous.
fact.
That's somewhat disingenuous.
Yeah, and isn't there something there's something in the file that says that, about their financing as well, I
Yes.
believe?
The initial lease term accounted for the anticipated cost of the additional space, whether we use it or not, so the rent will not change.
Which they also did not inform us of at the
The first time
initial.
around.
Is that a misrepresentation?
No, they're
Maybe.
basically
No, they
saying,
told us.
No, they didn't tell us the first time.
they did, well, they said the lease was provided.
It says
Yeah.
It was probably buried in the lease.
That's not- But
I think there's two issues to consider. Number one is an issue for you about whether to grant this application, and number two is an issue for me about whether or not to look into an investigation here on the completeness of their disclosures in the first application.
Okay. Thank you.
I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
I would vote to hold it over pending investigation of the issue that you just mentioned, that council just mentioned.
I'm going to vote to deny and for cause, and I think that the applicant intentionally tried to mislead the board on the size of its store in the initial application by leaving out the fact that they had already leased the additional space next door, and I don't know that I would have granted the license at that time had I known about that space.
Absolutely.
all right, the next item is 1076. It's a new grocery store beer and wine products license, 980 Peekskill LLC.
So this is a sale of a business that took place to the applicant in December 2018 with the seller's license in effect. At the time, the applicant principal is availing licenses, it appears, at 3 different locations. Is that accurate, Adam?
Based on his personal questionnaire and information provided, it looks like they've listed themselves as employed at these other establishments.
Owned.
Owned and was previously denied
Well,
for the availing and other false statements made.
it looks like, while our records show him being added to these licenses in, after 2015, he's now saying that he owned them going back many years before that. So he's not currently availing, but it looks like he was.
He is, 'cause those applications were never approved,
The corporate change applications.
were all disapproved.
Right.
Oh, that's
So-
right.
Assuming those licenses the original licenses are in effect and he's operating the store.
Yeah, he's operating them and the licenses, and he's not on the license yet.
Okay, I think that solves that problem.
Commissioner Fan,
I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to deny as well.
I'll vote to deny.
next item, 1077. It's a new cabaret liquor license, 2020 Nightclub LLC.
It's a nightclub with 20 employees, a manager and security. Recorded music, DJ, and live music with patron dancing. Applicant has no experience and has never been licensed before. Previous license here was canceled in 2018 with significant history, including focal point and lack of supervision. And it was clearly a problem from the date that it opened. The prior licensee paid $40,000 in fines before it was canceled. It's a new cabaret liquor, if I didn't say that. It is not 500 foot.
And it looks like the same type of MO as a place that we canceled. He does intend to hire a manager, I guess with working, I think he said 40 hours a week, so he would need to hire someone else. It looks like a nice place inside, but essentially the same MO that we canceled.
Commissioner Fan?
Was Love and Lust a club or a gentleman's club?
I think it was just a club.
Because I think it,
Yeah.
I remember it was here a lot, so I think everybody remembers it.
Yeah.
I think
It was a gentleman's club.
It was.
And this is not. So just to be clear, it is a similar MO other than that.
Other, well,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's significant, actually.
Because I don't, on their application, it does not appear they're going to have exotic dancing.
Although they will have private events 24 to 30 times a year, or so they say.
That's pretty much every other weekend.
I don't know how they came up, I don't know how they came up with 24 to 30.
Commissioner Fan?
I really don't see a reason right now why we should license a nightclub. And this applicant has no experience, and I don't see any supporting information about the applicant or the business, so I'm gonna vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
The capacity of 600 people right now seems kind of far-fetched to me, and the applicant doesn't have any experience operating a place of this size, and when we talk about living in 40 hours a week and then letting a manager handle the rest, I just think that's a recipe for things happening the way they did before, so I vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to deny as well. The previous license here was a serious problem for the police department as well as the liquor authority. This applicant has zero experience running a place at all, certainly not a place of this size, and appears that she's going to run a club that has a similar method of operation other than the exotic dancing as the place that was there before. And as Commissioner Ford pointed out, she only intends on spending 40 hours a week there, which is concerning to me, even with her lack of experience, that this place will be, I'm concerned that this place would not be supervised to the extent that it would need to be.
All right, the next item is 1078. It's a new package store application, Oliver Hemphill Jr.
So this is a new 1,320 square foot package store. The applicant was disapproved at this exact location for public convenience and advantage in 2019. There's 2 protests. The previous application was for a bulletproof store. This one is not bulletproof according to the application. 2 of the 4 closest stores are bulletproof. There's no evidence the population went up or that anything else has changed that I can see since 2019.
Actually, there is one of the closest stores is the licensee, or the applicant says it's no longer there. That's closed since the last time it was considered.
Closed
Do we know that?
It says it closed in 2017.
Which one? Because we got sales from the 4 closest.
Derry Keith Rose?
Yes, that's it.
Which, is that one of the 4 closest?
Yeah, closed in April of 2019, when their license expired. Is that right, Adam?
No, that's not one of the 4 closest.
It's not one of the 4 closest that I see.
Yeah, there were, the first time, there are 6 stores within 1 mile or 1.1 miles. It's one of those, but not one of the closest 4, I believe.
Okay. And do we know that, Adam? Is it closed?
He's looking.
The serial number is 3158456. Nine ten Fillmore Avenue. It's 1 mile. In the, 1 mile.
8456 according to Fillmore LLC.
No, it's Darrell Keith Rose. It's doing business as J&J Liquor. The serial number is 31. Jesus. In this letter, they actually give 2 different ones. I'm sorry, Adam. There are 2 different ones on this letter. So try 3144451. They say that it's 1 mile from the applicant,
Okay.
but in a different zip code.
Let's see. So it's definitely an inactive license. It looks like there is an open case on it, which may have been a reason why they didn't renew a license. But it did expire. Daryl Keith Rose, as of April 30th, 2019. When they actually ceased to operate, though, I would have to look further. But there is not, that license is no longer active.
Okay.
All right, with that, are you ready to vote?
Can you just give me one more moment?
Sure thing.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, Commissioner Pham?
Since the two closest doors are bulletproof and this applicant applied before and was denied because he was also proposing bulletproof and now have changed his mind. He has fitness and character letters submitted on his behalf by community members. And with that, I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
Actually, I think 3 of the 4 closest stores are bulletproof.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
2 of the 4 licensed since 2016, but he's replacing a store from 2019. So I would normally say enough is enough, but in this case, I think I will vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley?
And I'm gonna vote to disapprove even without that other store there. I just think, I'm gonna go based on what Commissioner Ford just said, that enough is enough.
Okay, then next item is 1079.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna take a brief recess. It's
Picture 1079.
I was actually gonna ask them to print it out and put the pictures up, but I guess.
All right, we are back on the record after a brief recess. We're going to continue on with item 1079, which is a conditional contest offer of $20,000, no outdoor music, and closing at 11 p.m. There is a summary suspension in effect for this licensee.
Yeah, this
This is 5 dates over
Yeah.
7 weeks.
appears all pretty, multiple warnings and pretty egregious.
And they just
And
opened.
it just got worse every day. It went from 10.
I'm not sure there were multiple warnings. I see at least one notice for sure in the record.
This is the same precinct though, as I said.
I know, but I would be careful about that.
No, I'm not saying, I know the police on June 10th certainly went and warned the licensee.
On June 10th,
Yeah,
and this is all
And then all this happened
May, all through
thereafter.
This is just opened.
and that's the other issue, it just opened, right. And this is another one, they went there at 9:20 and there were 20 people, and then 11:38 there were 25 people, which shows you this was the way he was running his business. Over a 7-week period.
I'm gonna cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford.
I was at a counter offer of 25,000.
I'm gonna cancel and bond.
But it's cancel and bond.
Are you, Commissioner Ford, you're with cancel and bond?
I will cancel and
Okay.
bond.
Next item, 1080. It's a CNC of $20,000. There's an emergency summary order for suspension in effect. And Chairman, you're recused from this one.
I will accept 20,000, 11 p.m. close and no music.
All right, so counter offer of 20,000, 11 p.m. closing, and no music.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford.
I'll go with that as well.
Okay. The next items, 1081, 82, 83, 84. This is a conditional contest offer of $25,000. There is a summary suspension in effect regarding the fourth proceeding that's in this offer.
I'm sorry, there's one?
There's a summary suspension in effect regarding the fourth proceeding that's listed here on the
Okay.
agenda sheet.
Okay.
This place is, in the last year, has paid $18,000 in fines in less than a year.
Also the June 26th incident, which was an executive order incident. The NOP was delivered to the licensee on July 17th, based on the certified mail card, the day before the second EO incident, which was July 18th.
And just to be clear, I want to say they paid $18,000 between December of 2017 and January of 2019. So a little over a year, they paid about $18,000. They've and this sale to minor, this stuff, some of this stuff is unrelated to the COVID situation.
And the charges from 2019, why are they so long getting here?
It could be a variety of reasons. It may be when we got the referral.
Yeah, those are the dates of the conduct.
Okay.
And, we do what we can to process these, and sometimes it takes longer than others. There could also have been negotiations and hearing scheduled that were then suspended or whatever. So not entirely sure.
Okay, just curious.
All right then, so Commissioner Fan, you ready to vote?
Yeah, I'll accept 25,000 with 11 p.m. close and no music.
All right, so counter offer 25,000, 11 PM closing, and no music. Commissioner Ford,
Same here.
Chairman Bradley,
I'm a canceling bond. There's 18,000 fines in less than a year. This place is a problem from the moment it opened. And I have no faith that they're gonna be able to comply with, or have an interest in complying with what they're gonna be forced to. But
all right, the next item is 1085. It's a conditional no contest offer of $15,000, no outdoor music, and no service after 11 PM. And there's a summary suspension in effect.
just to be clear, no service after 11 PM is not closed at 11.
This location's been licensed since 1996. They say that it was an office party and one thing led to another. Within 10 minutes, a lot of people, well, not a lot, but quite a few people were standing outside. I'm gonna counter, I would lower from 15 to 10, but no music and close at 11.
And make it clear, please, Tom, that it's no music inside or outside.
No music, period.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll go with the same steps. 10,000,
no music, and
no
11.
music, and 11 PM close.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll do the same.
All right, next item, 1086, conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1087, it's a conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1088, another conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
1089, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1090, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1091, licensee is 119 Tavern Corp. It's a request to extend the deadline of the conditional approval.
Go to February 14, 2021.
Are you marking that as a final extension?
Yep.
February 2021 final.
February 14, 2021.
It will
We're all
be-
good with that?
It will be 2 years at that point.
Next item is 1092. It's a conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 1093. A conditional offer of $500.
Yeah,
Pick
My
up,
guess-
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my guess is that this might have been a typo since it's not our ordinary practice to send it out at 500. But we sent it up because they signed it, I guess. I didn't see this until I got the materials. It's up to you whether to accept it or,
I don't want to get a run on $500 offers, so I'm not accepting it.
so
It did go, Gary, you're correct. The pleading did go out with a second page with
it says
500.
500, right. Yeah,
So
so
Can
I
I
will,
just
I will,
and send it back to council's office?
well,
Yep.
I will, you could do that, but I will tell you that our practice was supposed to be, for a case like this, to include a $1,500 second page. So if you countered at 1,500, that could be a way to resolve the matter.
Counter
I would-
1,500.
I would counter at 15 with 11 PM close and no music.
Commissioner Ford, where are you at?
11 PM, no music.
And 1,500. Chairman Bradley.
I'll do the same.
Okay. Next item is 1094. It's a conditional offer of $30,000. There is a summary suspension in effect.
This was 9 unmasked patrons standing within 6 feet of others inside the bar, but it was legal to be inside the bar since it was Albany, and not sufficient food with the alcohol. They do have some negative history.
And 4 people playing pool. The negative history is significant, but it's dated. It goes back to 2016. I checked and we do not have anything, we do not have a record with them since that, up until this point.
Are we doing 11 PM close for locations outside?
No, well, we haven't been, so the only reason that I asked for the 11 PM in New York City was because the mayor's office, the New York City itself had imposed an 11 PM outdoor curfew that really is not being complied with.
Right.
So if we had it as a condition of the license, it's much easier for us to prove.
Enforce it.
In other parts of the state, if they're open, I mean, I'm not saying other municipalities don't have curfews, I don't know. I don't believe Albany does, but there could be other ones that do, I don't know.
I will also say that, just for the record, that the 11 PM curfew in New York City applies only to their extension into the sidewalk and street, into those areas.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about, it's not being complied with.
That is not being, you're correct. You have seen literally dozens of cases that come to you where the party is going on the street after 11 PM.
But this is also, indoor dining is open in Albany, so it's less of a concern.
I would agree with that.
I looked at the evidence, they do have people standing, but it's not crowds, so I propose that we lower it to 20,000.
So accepted, lower to 20,000.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford?
I was gonna accept and lower to 25,000. So,
I'll do 25,000.
25? All right, the next item, 1095, additional no contest offer of $3,500.
This is
Yeah.
serving inside, oh, go ahead, Gary.
I was going to say that this offer, based on the conduct, is higher than we would ordinarily, ordinarily go with.
I will counter at 1,500.
All right, so you're accepting but lowering.
Lowering from 3,500 to
Right.
1,500.
Commissioner Ford?
I will counter at 15 as well.
Hold on one second. Why did I think it was May 8th?
It was what?
All right, 1,500.
All right, so it's accepted and lowered to $1,500. Next item, 1096, it's a conditional no contest offer, $10,000. There's a summary suspension in effect the 16th of August.
This is not the summaries, in this case, okay, there were 11 patrons inside consuming food and beverages when indoor dining was not allowed. I believe the date in the first charge is wrong, it should be 8/15, that's a typo.
Let me go check, hold on.
No, because the second charge is
No,
8/15,
I understand that, but
and
if it's a typo, it's
everything happened on 8/15.
something that's in the system, so to speak.
The conduct was on August 15th.
Right.
All right, so there was when the charges were, wait, that can't be.
Let me double confirm that. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm in there right now checking.
Okay. We suspended the place on August 16th, so.
All right, somehow the prosecutor put the May date in the system, but it came out of the pleading as, so they may have amended the pleading, but not the system.
Okay.
Be fixed. All right. So Commissioner Pan?
I'll accept 10,000. 11 PM close, no music.
All right, so a counter offer of 10,000, 11 PM, closing time, and no music. Commissioner Ford?
I'll accept it with the counter as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll accept with her counter as well.
Next item is 1097. It's a conditional no contest offer of $35,000. There is another item on the calendar if you want to consider that as well separately. There is a service suspension in effect for this matter. The other matter is 1104. And that, just so you know, is a conditional no contest offer of $1,500.
Right, so for the record, the case that's at 1104 was earlier and had a second page offer on the NOP, which came in and accepted at $1,500. And that was on July 20th that came in. So it was in between the conduct that's in the case that's at 1097.
So what you're
And-
saying is that they got notice they had been charged for this type of conduct before the stuff happened on 8/5?
Yes, that they were serving takeout with no food, because I guess at that point there was no inside service permitted in Freeport, and people were lingering and congregating. So the second incident was on July 5th. That occurred before they got their pleading. But I believe the August 5th conduct occurred after. 'Cause they
And
had
that
already-
August 5th conduct was, in my estimation, as egregious as it gets. Patrons,
Yes.
100 people walking around a deck with drinks, with no social distancing. Manager actually added food to a bill that was not purchased or delivered so that he could try to fraudulently indicate that food was being served when it wasn't. The cook had no mask on.
Yes. I will also say, for what it's worth, that unlike a lot of the places that we're seeing that are really bar taverns, this is a restaurant. So, in theory, they could comply with the law if the board wanted to give them another chance. But the conduct was extremely egregious.
We ready to vote?
Yeah.
Commissioner Fan on 1097.
Ay, I'm gonna accept 35,000, no music. And I will, reject 1104.
All right, Commissioner Ford on
So let me
10.
just to be clear here, you want 1104 included in the 35, just to get?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 30,
So I took
it's gonna be 35,000 for both
All right,
cases.
so it's gonna be a counter offer then, okay.
I do want to note on their method of operation, they also have recorded music, DJ, jukebox, and karaoke.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Well, anymore if they accept it, yeah.
All right, if they accept it, right.
All right, so Commissioner Ford,
35,000 accept, no music, and include 1104.
all right, so a counter offer of 35,000, no music for both cases.
Yes.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll do the same, and if this is not accepted, it expires.
Well, they all,
No, I'm just saying that this is not indicative of what I think about what happened here.
next item, 1098 to CNC of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1099 to pleading default.
1,500.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept. Oh, not accept, I'm sorry, 1,500.
Next item are items 1100 and 1101. It's a conditional offer of cancellation and bond claim, with council's office requesting that charges 11 and 12 in the first proceeding be withdrawn.
Cancel and bond, accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond, accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept and withdraw the two charges you mentioned.
Next item, conditional, 1102, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1103, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, conditional offer of $1,500, item 1105. Commissioner Fan,
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 1106, it's a conditional offer of $1,500 and a 11 PM closing time. There's a summary suspension in effect, and Chairman, you have to recuse yourself in this one.
And it's 15,000,
What'd I say, 1,500, sorry.
one more zero.
Or two more zeros, depending on how they go.
Drinking inside, for the record, leaving with drinks, people standing and congregating in front, manager with no mask, and some fire safety issues.
Oh, accept 15,000, 11 PM close with no music.
All right, so a counter offer with music, with no music. Commissioner Ford,
15,000, no music, and close at 11?
that'll be the counter offer.
Yes.
Okay. Next item, 1107, it's a conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1108, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1109, a conditional offer of $2,000.
2,000 accept.
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 1110, a conditional offer of $2,000.
2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford.
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1111, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is a no contest plea, it's item 1112. There's summary suspension that's in effect.
So this was 15 patrons in front with most not wearing masks and drinking without food. 5 people inside the premise at the bar, no food available in the place. Employees not wearing face coverings operating past the curfew, the 11 p.m. curfew.
And just to clarify, even though the last charge is on August 15th, that was not a separate incident. That just, I believe that the conduct was viewed, it was an overnighter into the morning.
Oh, I
So
see.
my problem with this offer,
No, there's no offer.
oh, it's a straight no contest. My
Problem
problem with this place is there was apparently no food anywhere.
Tater
And-
tot.
And it appears, I question, do we know if they can even make food? I'm not gonna reopen a place that can't make food. And he's calling it a bar and restaurant, the attorney, but there was no food.
Well, they are licensed as a tavern. I mean, so they do have obviously a different food requirement than the full restaurant that they would be able to satisfy with a microwave, quite possibly, if they had the space and desire to do so.
I mean, he's been operating for a while, and it doesn't have a significant history, but
Just give me one moment.
and they have a DJ that performs, although apparently it was not there that night.
Yeah, it's a chronic noise problem there.
Are we ready?
Are they authorized to have a DJ, Adam? I realize it's not a charge here, I'm just asking.
That's not gonna be,
I know.
Yeah, it's not anything that's on their license. I'd have to
Oh,
go back
because
and
of
look at their.
93, that's
Yeah.
okay. Okay, all right.
This every time they don't ever say what they're gonna do differently. It's just,
I don't know that they can do anything differently. That's my
Really?
biggest concern.
Stop doing it.
What is this guy gonna do differently? He had no food. He had a
Put it in the
DJ.
microwave.
all right, well,
But go ahead, whatever you guys want.
Commissioner Fan?
I'll set the penalty. I will do 15,000, no music, 11 PM close.
Commissioner Ford?
I was gonna do 10,000, so I'll let you be the deciding factor.
I was gonna do 30
No.
and a microwave.
You want me to figure out the average of those?
No, I'll do, what'd you say, 15? I'll do what Commissioner Fain did.
15,000.
And food has to be served. In fact, a menu needs to be provided to council's office and they can approve it.
Okay, so let's make sure we're all on the same page. Penalty is $15,000, no music, 11 PM, and a menu has to be submitted to council's office. Commissioner Fan?
Yes.
Commissioner Ford, you would still with 10 or?
Chairman, respectfully, I'd ask that that menu be sent to licensing to make sure it's consistent with our current practices.
Okay, that's fine, licensing. I just wanted it to run it by Gary in case he had something he liked that he wanted to put on it.
I'll make sure I coordinate with council on that.
All right.
Commissioner Ford, we're
I'm good with that.
good with that? Okay.
I'm happy to go into the menu business if needed.
Next items, 1113, 1114, 1115, it's a conditional no contest offer of $35,000, no music outdoors, no alcohol beverage service outdoors after 11 PM. Was there summary suspension imposed, and Chairman, you have to recuse yourself.
Oh,
So no outdoor music.
No outdoor music and no alcohol beverage service outdoors after 11 PM.
which is what the law is right now.
You're accused, Chairman.
I know, thank you.
I will say about this location that the first proceeding and second proceeding predate COVID, but include multiple dates on which maximum occupancy was exceeded. And the disorderly premise in the first proceeding involved a slashing in the adjacent parking lot. Hookah issues repeatedly across the three cases. And then we had the executive order violations on August 8th, 2020, with people standing inside, a DJ inside, kitchen staff with no masks, people were dancing outside on the, and not permitted in the license. The licensee would not let our investigators see their video. They signed a stipulation with the community board that they would have a sound limiter on their DJ setup and did not have a sound limiter on their DJ setup when inspected on August 8th, 2020.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna accept 35,000, no music, and close at 11.
All right, so a counter offer of $35,000, no music at all, and 11 PM closing. Commissioner Ford?
11 PM closing. I'll go with all that as well.
Next item, 1116. It's a conditional no contest offer of $25,000, no music outdoors, closing the outdoor area at 11 PM. There's a summary suspension imposed in this case.
They have-
Employees not wearing face masks, no masks on cooks. Security guards with no mask, 40 people congregating without masks, people dancing. This is an outdoor club. Which is exactly what we're trying to avoid.
Was the rooftop licensed, Adam?
I don't see any licensed outdoor space on their license right now. I can go back to the original application for you.
Because they're saying that, oh, the outdoor area in front, I see.
Yeah, I mean, so the outdoor area in front may have been, if it was through the city's open restaurants program.
They say they have a landing outside of the rooftop bar area.
Yeah, I mean, I see it in the pictures.
Yeah, so on their application, the established questionnaire, they do indicate an outdoor area for a rooftop. So that was part of the license, and a yard.
Adam, does it show like that it's covered? Because in the pictures, I see a rooftop with like a canopy, basically.
Let me see if we have any photos from the original application.
While you're at it, see if they have an occupancy up there, or what their representation was.
And they're offer here to close the outdoor area at 11. I mean, they have to close period at 11.
Yeah.
Right?
No, as Gary said, they're supposed to be closing the outdoor part that they got extended at 11 under the city's curfew. However, no one is differentiating between their normal dining outside area in New York City and the area that they were allowed to add on the open dining, what is it called, open dining program?
Yeah,
They're
technically, if they
differentiating.
have,
Open restaurants program.
if technically, more than technically, if they have permission to have outdoor space on their property that's licensed by us, that has a closing time, they're allowed to use it till that closing time. It's the move out into New York City into municipal space essentially that brings with it the 11 p.m. curfew.
But the problem is there's no, well, it doesn't even matter based on my observations, whether they have outdoor that is under our license and then additional tables under the municipal plan. They're definitely not differentiating. And then if they don't have anything under our license, but just have the municipal plan, they're not closing either. And I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's a large percentage are not complying with this.
So they indicated on their original application that there were 52 tables, 125 seats. Rooftop appears to be 70. The penmanship is about as good as mine.
Our report says there were at least 150 people there seated and standing that day.
And is this he's named a La View Catering. Is this licensed as a restaurant, a tavern, a catering hall, what?
It's licensed as a restaurant.
Entity may have something else too. Huh? Does the entity could have something else if it's allowed to be catered?
Could be, right?
Are we ever?
There was dancing. This is pretty egregious
I know, I
right
mean,
here.
this is 150 people standing and seated inside, dancing, holding beverages.
There was a nightclub
You ready to vote
at the
then?
night they were there.
Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna count it, cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
I will counter a cancel and bond as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Cancel and bond.
The next item,
Can you turn that back on again though? Gary,
Gary muted.
Gary, they didn't charge the over occupancy. Did anybody collect evidence of that?
Well, I have, all I have is a task force report, right?
Oh,
Is a
okay.
task report.
Okay.
So,
All right, well, they can look into it. All right, thanks.
The next item, 1117, a conditional no contest offer of $10,000. Summary suspension is in effect for this licensee.
11 people inside for on-premise service. They were eating and drinking at the bar or at tables when indoor dining was not allowed.
Commissioner Manning, ready to vote?
Yeah, I will accept $10,000 and 11 PM, counter with 10,000, 11 PM close, and the background music only.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
I'll accept same terms.
All right, counter offer the same. Chairman Bradley.
I will counter at the same time.
Okay. The next item is 1118, conditional no contest offer of $2,000.
I'll accept 2,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept 2,000.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept 2,000.
Next item is 1119, 1120, conditional offer of $25,000. 11 PM closing and no music, and there is a summary suspension in effect.
Hey, Adam, can I ask
Yes.
you about this license? Can you tell me what the method of operation is?
Sure. So it is a restaurant with no dancing, recorded music. It's an older license, so there are some things that we currently ask for that weren't indicated then, but they do indicate that they are a restaurant, recorded music, no dancing. "12 employees, no security guards.
$724, 150 to 200 people in and around the premise, no social distancing. 150 to 200 inside sitting at tables, still open at 1:30 a.m.
Yep. This has 3 different EO violation dates on it. And we have a note from the 61st precinct saying 200 people inside. And the disorderly in 2018 is a stabbing inside. I'm gonna counter it, cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
I will counter cancel the bond as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I will as well.
Next item is 1121, to CNC of $2,000.
2,000 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
2,000.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item is 1122, it's a conditional offer of cancellation of bond claim. Summary suspension is in effect for this licensee. Commissioner Fannin,
Cancel and bond, accept.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel the bond, accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1123, a $1,500 conditional offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 1124, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 1125, it's a conditional offer of $2,000.
2,000 accept.
2,000 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is $1,500, conditional offer, next item is 1126, conditional offer of $1,500.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Bradley.
Accept.
Next item is 11.
Hey, Tom,
Yes.
sorry to break your rhythm, but can we take 5?
Yes.
Sure thing. All right. Don't forget to mute your mics over there. Okay, after a brief recess, we are back on the record. We're going to resume with item 1127. It's a $1,500 conditional no contest offer.
1,500 accept.
Commissioner Ford,
1,500 accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
The next items are 1128, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. It's a conditional no contest offer for all those cases, $60,000, at 11 p.m. closing time, and no music.
Do I have to recuse myself on this?
I did not have you down as being recused, so give me a second, and I will check. And the agenda sheet does not note it, but there is a summary suspension in effect for this licensee.
I know I was,
You were absent. You were absent that day.
and I know I was in this place, so I.
Okay, that's why I don't have you being recused, because you were absent. All right, so you're recused.
All right, let the record reflect that this license was issued in March of 2019. There are a number of pre-COVID-19 pleadings covering a significant period of time where the licensee was repeatedly found to be in violation of the hour restriction on the license. These charges have not been heard at a hearing, but I think, as you can see, the dates is pretty much every week. They were caught again and again and again, but we did not go to hearing on them yet. The notice of pleading in the 6th case was served in November 2019, and yet the conduct continued in December, the first proceeding, January, the 5th proceeding, February, the 3rd proceeding. So, those notices of pleadings were also served. Then after all of that, in March, there were executive order violations. On May 20th, the notice of pleading was served in March. And then in July, more executive order violations. On July 4th, July 24th, and actually the 24th and the 25th were all one incident. But they were serving after curfew there, having repeatedly violated their after hours restrictions, as it is alleged in those notices of pleading.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
Gary, let me just clarify. So there was there are 2 COVID charges in the 4th proceeding that was in March, and that was served in May, you said? Did we get a response for that?
You know what, I don't know. I don't know if we got a response before the response we have now, which is to put all these together. Look, given the prior history, my guess is that negotiations started at that point, because we weren't going to just settle these COVID-19 charges from March with all of this pending. So I'm not exactly sure of the history. But this is now part of the CNC offer, which is for, what, $60,000?
Yes.
Yeah, 60,000, 11 closed, no music.
And I do want to note that in their offer, they are offering up no music. Per their current license, they're not allowed to have live or DJs, live music or DJs, as it is.
Yeah, and the conduct on July 24th, July 4th, they were serving after curfew and after 2 p.m. actually, which is their 2 a.m., which is their restriction that they repeatedly violated just about every month since they've gotten the license.
Right.
On the 24th, they were found to be serving people indoors. When our investigators arrived, the manager blocked the investigator's path and was trying to warn patrons to leave through the back door.
All right.
All right then, Commissioner Fan, you ready to vote?
Yes, I'll cancel and bond.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
So second proceeding seems to be, are all COVID related.
They're basically 4 COVID dates, the 2nd and the 4th.
Yeah. The ones on
No, there were three COVID dates.
March
March.
20th too, but it doesn't say what in that proceeding, it doesn't say what the
No, there-
violations were. They said public
Oh.
safety, building code, something like that. It doesn't say exactly what they were.
I'm sorry, Gary, you think that there are 3 because the 24th and the 25th are actually the same day? Like the same
Yes.
charge? And then there's July 4, and then there's March 20.
Correct.
Okay.
I will go with cancel and bond as well.
Okay then. The next item is 1134 to condition no contest offer of $4,500.
Patrons eating and drinking on the inside on 2 separate dates. I think it is 2 separate dates in this instance.
13,
Is it 2 separate days?
I'll check, hold on.
I believe so.
yeah, June 13th and June 14th.
Yes,
But were they given notice?
probably not.
I can,
Oh, they were in, it looks like they were inside though. In New York City, that's, yeah, I'll accept this.
Yeah.
I'll accept as well.
Okay, except 4,500. Okay.
next items are 1135 and 1136. This was held over from the last meeting. It's a conditional no contest offer of $20,000 plus current permissible service area to be closed at 11 p.m. and no music in the current permissible service area. I believe we were waiting for some enforcement.
Well, and obviously the attorney was listening to our prior meeting and the explanation for calling the non-owner the owner is nonsensical to me. He basically, go ahead, Gary.
Our investigative report says that there were 2 gentlemen who identified themselves to the investigator, an older man who identified himself as the co-owner and a younger man who identified himself as the assistant manager. The letter from the sole owner, who was the man who the report states identified himself as the assistant manager, says that it was actually the newly hired manager who confused the two in her relating that to our investigator. The fact that anybody said there was a co-owner is respectfully a little suspicious because there is no co-owner under our license. There's only one owner. The other thing to
Which was not explained.
not explained in the letter. Having said that, we also have a letter from, I don't have the name on my cheat sheet, sorry, an elected from the area who knows
Yes. Both.
who knows the licensed principal, and vouches for him as the owner of a barber shop at one point, I believe, or maybe still currently. The reason that I believe we held this over was a concern about whether or not there was an availing going on here based on this confusion between these two gentlemen. Although I don't know, I don't know whether the supplemental material addresses it completely, but I don't know whether we know whether there's, at this point, whether there is an availing or not. Although in theory, we could continue to investigate that fact.
Are we ready to vote?
Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, and Jose Antonio Rosado stated he was one of the co-owners.
That's the older gentleman who, in the explanation, was identified as somebody, as a relative.
Yeah, it's the uncle.
And then the actual sole principal, Rodriguez, identified himself as the assistant manager, whereas this letter indicates that one of the employees identified him, which is not the case.
Actually, the manager, the letter suggests that the manager identified her boss as her assistant and identified the uncle as the owner.
Right. All right.
Okay. I will accept 20,000 with, close at 11 and no music.
All right, so a counter offer of 25,000,
No, just 20.
20,000. 20,000, 11 p.m. closing, and no music.
And they have on their offer, plus current permissible service area to be closed at 11. That's not what we're saying. We're saying the entire premise is closed at 11.
Right, that's the counter offer.
Even when it reopens.
Counter offer is 11 p.m. closing,
Yes.
and no music, period.
Yes, certainly no, and that includes DJs.
Commissioner Ford?
No music. You said 25,000?
No, just
20,000,
20,000.
11 p.m. closing, no music.
I'll go with that as well.
I would send this back to investigators to do the availing too, Gary,
Will do.
because I think
Are
this
you
is.
making
I-
a counter offer?
No, I'm telling them that I'm gonna accept what she countered at,
That's,
but I'm telling him that there's clearly more going on here.
all right, the next item is 11:37. This was held over from the last meeting. It's Ridgewood Convenience Inc. It's a new grocery store beer and wine products license.
Members, so we were waiting on a deficiency response for the application for an additional grocery store license that is coming before you for the same reasons. I would ask that we pull this over to the next meeting so they both can be heard together.
Okay? Commissioner Fan, you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
So why are we holding?
Same owner?
Well, there's the same applicant principal has another application in for another grocery store license. And then both of them are coming, two different locations, they're both coming in for the same reasons, for a prior cancellation and possible availing.
Yeah, because I mean, based on what I can see, that he's actually disclosed ownership of a location where someone else is actually licensed, right?
Right, so I would.
Okay, all right, yeah, put it over, that's fine.
All right, Commissioner Ford, you good with that?
Yes.
All right. The next item, 11:38. This is another request to extend deadline for conditional approval, 660 12th Avenue Subsidiary LLC.
I will go to March 25, 2021.
And is that the final extension or?
Sure, yes, that's 2 years.
Yep. Commissioner Ford,
I'll do the same.
Chairman Brown.
I'll do the same.
Next item, 11:39, no contest, and this licensee has a summary suspension in effect for this case. Commissioner Fan, you ready to go?
Um, yes, I'm at, I'm at 10,000. No,
$10,000 and no music. Commissioner Ford,
For 1139,
1139, right, no contest, please.
patrons are there.
oh, wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong case, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I was at 2,000.
I was at this. I'm sorry.
Oh, there was a
I was
summary.
looking at the wrong case. Wait, hold on.
Serenita Lounge, Inc., Ossining, New York. This location had the bar stools together, people playing pool and drinking, others loitering near the entrance, standing and drinking. That's why we suspended it.
Playing pool.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
The licensee submitted a letter saying that he expects to keep the premises closed, asked for mercy based on financial hardship. It's a no contest, so they're asking the board to impose discipline. This was a local police referral from Ossining.
All
Well, I
right,
mean, what I would do then, and you guys tell me if you disagree, since he plans on keeping it closed, if he puts the license in safekeeping, I'll do 2,000. But he puts it in safekeeping until, what's the date? Give me a date. Until he comes to the board and asks that it be, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Do you want to predict when the COVID-19
No.
crisis will be over?
I was gonna let you do it, but I don't think you'd be able to either. You're the, yeah, I don't want to do that. I have no idea. If it was New York City, I would say indoor dining, but he's Westchester, so. All right, forget that idea.
So, I'll go back to Commissioner Fan. Are you still at 10,000 and no music?
no, well. So. How about you hold it until the state stops the mask mandate? Or unless there's some kind of Westchester government.
I just don't, I mean, we can do that. I just don't know. I mean, the mask mandate could go on for years. I don't know. I have no way of predicting, but I'm not a doctor, obviously, and I don't play one on TV.
I'll go to 2,000,
Just 2,000 straight
no music.
and no music. Commissioner Ford,
Same.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll stay at 10.
10? And just 10. The next item, 1139A, conditional no contest offer of $15,000, closed by 11 p.m., and background recording music incidental to dining. This is a licensee from summarily suspended.
I will go to 10,000, close by 11, and background recorded music on.
What's the deal with the outdoor?
Just, so you're lowering the penalty,
Yes.
but the licensee saying background recording music incidental to dining.
Yes, that's fine.
That's okay, so it's okay.
The answer, Chairman, the answer to your question is the licensee admits that the space was closed at the time of the violation and has asked us to opine on whether or not we would consider it inside or outside with the window panels removed, which we are investigating and will respond to him on.
Okay, so as long as he's gonna get an answer is what you're saying, that's fine.
Yes.
All right, so Commissioner Ford, Commissioner Fan is proposing to accept the offer but reduce the penalty to $10,000.
I'll do the same. But 11 p.m. close and background recorded music.
Incident for
That's
that,
enough
right?
time, yes.
Chairman Riley?
I'll do the same.
All right, the next item, 1139B. CNC of $10,000. The licensee has a summary suspension in effect.
30 patrons inside the premise, which was allowed, none of which were wearing face masks, 19 of which were crowding at the bar without masks. No food.
Yes, the licensee has presented a hot dog plan going forward.
Things are gonna have to do better than that. I'm willing to accept, but you've gotta come up with a better food plan than hot dogs.
Uh-oh.
Tom, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
You froze up for a second.
I'd just be willing to accept the 10,000.
Commissioner Fan, did I get your vote on that?
No, not yet. I'll go to 7,500.
I'm at 10.
Okay. No music.
That's in the Mohawk Valley. We can do no music if you want, but we haven't.
What number is that again? I'm sorry, I just lost my page.
No, we
This
haven't.
was 1139B.
We've just been
Chair-
doing
Chairman,
the
you're accepting the offer. Commissioner Ford, you accepted the offer, and Commissioner Fan, you were going to reduce it to 7,500.
So it's 10,000?
10,000. Next item, 1139C. This is a C&C of $15,000. Background music only outside, and close all service at 11 p.m. Summary suspension has been in effect for this licensee.
That's King of the Fish. I remember this one.
Yeah, this location was found to not have any food other than oyster crackers, but in their submission with this offer, they claim to be a tinned seafood purveyor that also had salads, sandwiches. They submitted a revamped menu, etc.
Tom, our window's going on, it makes a difference.
All right, I'm going to propose lowering the fine to 7,500 with background music only and close at 11.
All right, so a counter offer of $7,500, background music only throughout the licensed premises, and 11 p.m. closing. Commissioner Ford.
I'll go with that as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll go with that, except I would go at 15,000. So all the other stuff.
Next items, 1139D, E, F, and G. This is a conditional no contest offer for these four cases, $25,000, closing at 11, and no outdoor music. And there is a summary suspension in effect.
Adam, is this a restaurant or a tavern?
It is a restaurant, Chairman.
Can you tell me what's the, if there are any boundaries around it?
It is restaurant, jukebox permissible, no dancing, employs a manager.
For the record, the first proceeding is a disorderly premises based on 2 people being stabbed while leaving the premises. The second proceeding concerns the using hookah with no license. The third proceeding involves incidents on 3 separate occasions related to executive order violations. On the first one, the licensee was observed having people drinking in front, and the licensee was warned that that was illegal and that they needed to serve food with alcohol. I guess at that point it was presumably a takeout service without food. The same conduct was observed on June 21st and June 27th. And then on July 18th, similar conduct and alcohol purchased with no food. Early in the evening, 11 people in front, went back later in the evening and found 25 people lingering in front.
And they don't say they're gonna comply at all.
D.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually very concerned about the stabbing that happened inside, stabbing 2 people. In 19.
Here.
Sorry, Gary, the third proceeding, the NOP was issued and mailed before the July charges, or no?
They got our pleading on that one approximately 8-ish.
7 or 8-ish, okay. So that would be 4/7/18.
The pleading is dated 7/8, so give it 5 days.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is not good. This is, crowds in tents outside, walk-up bars. And it's 115th, right? So they got multiple warnings.
Multiple.
I'm at counter at cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
I would counter cancel and bond for this as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I would counter cancel and bond as well. This is egregious after numerous warnings. Not to mention this, as Commissioner Fan pointed out, there was a stabbing inside in January of 2000. Two stabbings, did you say?
Stabbing of 2 people.
In January of 2019, which is also in this case.
All right, then, next item, 1139H. This is a CNC of $10,000. The licensee is subject to a summary suspension order.
This is patrons eating inside.
I love this. I hope the authority will see we did not break any rules on purpose, but it was matter of circumstances. That they were serving inside. Take 10,000. 11 p.m. close, no music.
All right, counter offer, 10,000, 11 p.m. What was the last part?
No music.
No music at all? Okay. Commissioner Ford.
10 p.m., I'm sorry,
10 p.m.
10,000. I want to shorten here. 11 p.m.
You all right?
You guys okay?
Doing all right.
All right, Chairman Bradley,
Same.
same counter offer.
Counter offer the same.
Next item is 1139I. This is a conditional offer of $10,000. There's a summary suspension in effect, and Chairman, you have to recuse yourself from this matter.
For the record, conduct all on one day, 5 to 10 people found inside. They do not have a Department of Transportation application, but we're serving outside. And I have 10 people not wearing masks. Are those all employees? Hold on.
Yeah, kitchen staff,
Yes.
but 5 to 10 patrons too.
Yeah,
Inside.
10 employees, no mask, and 8 people standing inside. All right,
I think Commissioner Pham.
I will accept 10,000, no music, 11 PM close.
All right, counter offer of 10,000, 11 PM closing, and no music. Commissioner Ford.
Same here.
Next item, 1139J. This is a conditional no contest offer of $10,000. The licensee is subject to a summary suspension order.
Similar case, inside, single event, inside service, employees not wearing masks. Sorry, Chairman, I stole your thunder. You're back in on this one, right?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I have concerns that this licensee is not going to comply. Moving forward.
Elevator.
The owner was playing pool with the patrons inside. With pictures of it. I'll take 10,000, no music. 11 PM close.
Then,
All right, counter offer, Commissioner Ford,
11 PM, no music.
and it's 10,000.
Yes.
Chairman Bradley.
do we want to get rid of the pool table too? No? All
What
right.
do you do? I mean, you say.
You tell them they gotta take it out.
To be a change in their method of operation as a permissible activity at their licensed premise.
They shouldn't have anybody inside, so I don't know that it matters.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
So no to the no pool table?
Yeah, I'll just stick with what she
Okay.
offered already.
Next item, 1139K, conditional no contest offer of $15,000. The licensee is subject to a summary suspension order.
This was pretty egregious. This was 24 people inside. The customers were actually told our investigators that they didn't need masks when they went in. No social distancing whatsoever. In Commissioner Ford's neck of the woods, so I'll let him.
Yeah,
know this
and
place.
Yeah, I do.
yeah, also, just for the record, the people did not appear to be eating food, and our investigator was served without ordering food. But it was one event, one day, and we don't have an adverse history on this place.
We did get letters from Senator Griffo and Assemblywoman Buttonshaw about it. I'd be willing to go to 10,000.
Commissioner Fan,
yes, 10,000.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll go with 10,000.
Next items, 1139L and M. It's a CNC of $35,000. The licensee is subject to a summary order of suspension.
Dining inside was warned from our information and then kept doing it anyway.
There are four separate dates of incidents. The first was June 26th. 6 people inside, and they were warned about that. And then on June 30th, an inspection found 2 employees with no face coverings, and they were warned then. The third incident was July 18th, 9 people inside, 3 employees with no face coverings serving after 11. We do not, that was an undisclosed visit, but they had been warned twice already. And then on the 24th, inside service again, employees no face coverings.
What
And
number
there
was
was
1139L and M.
you read? Okay, I see what you're saying. Go ahead. So you're going the 30th, there was no warning given out, but then the 20.
There were warnings on the 26th and the 30th. I I don't know if there was a warning on July 18th.
Okay, I see.
And then the final conduct, I guess the fourth strike, was another inspection that found the same conduct repeating inside service and employees not wearing face coverings.
Why, so on this memo, we don't have a description of the 24th.
Yeah, I believe that it got cut off for some reason. It's in compliance, but it was cut off. I actually followed up with our prosecutor.
So it basically, but it's safe to say that it was pretty much similar in activity to the 18th?
On the July 24th incident, they were charged with inside service, employees without face coverings, and I think you have the NOP, right, in your.
Yeah, we do. I mean, this is, so they went back there, they had 1, 2, 3, they had to go in there 4 times?
4 incidents, yes.
And they spoke to him at least on 3 of them?
Well, 2 in advance of the other 2.
And they want us to believe that they're gonna stop doing this.
Well, they have submitted evidence of this daily checklist that they're supposedly using now. But it's just a list and they check it every day. I don't know that it does anything.
Yeah, that, you can have 50 pages of lists.
I know, it's like, I don't know what that shows.
I mean, I think obviously the clearest indicator of future behavior is past behavior, particularly when you're warned. All right.
So we're ready to vote then? Commissioner Pham,
I'm gonna counter it, cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
They have they already paid us, what, $10,000, and they've only been open since 2018.
Where are you seeing that?
No,
No adverse history. They've been open, you got the wrong one. It's July of 2019. That's the other issue. They've only been open a year. And this is the type of
Which number again? I'm sorry.
LNM. 1139 LNM.
yes, 2 proceedings, 4 dates, June 26th, June 30th, July 18th, and July 24th. $35,000 offer. Open since July 2019.
I'll go with cancel and bond as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I'm at cancel and bond as well. There is no reason that investigators need to warn somebody more than once. And this has been done twice and it continued. And it seemed to have gotten worse even after the warnings.
The next items, 1139N, O, P, and Q. It's a conditional no contest offer of $50,000, 11 p.m. closing, and no outdoor music. Is a summary suspension in effect regarding the fourth proceeding, and Chairman, your recuse from this matter.
So for the record, this was a location that had 3 proceedings pending before the COVID-19 pandemic began. And that included three successive sales to minor, including one of an 18-year-old or under. That's in the first, second, and third proceedings. A number of other issues, and this license was issued in April of 2019. So this conduct began within 4 months of the license being issued. So 3 sale to minors within 6 months of the license being issued.
Gary, can I ask you two questions? I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's actually for sale to minor because charge 13 of the third proceeding, the notes actually suggest that there is another sale to minor. For some reason, we didn't charge the sale to minor.
Well, I wouldn't rely on it if we didn't charge it.
Okay,
It's probably circumstances that a minor was found with a beverage, but there was no evidence of the sale. That's,
Yeah, sometimes we have evidentiary issues, but I wouldn't want you to consider, you're already considering allegations only, because this is just a pleading, and you're deciding whether to accept an offer
Yeah.
to settle the case.
Right.
But
they didn't charge it on November 8th and don't consider it.
you're not settling a charge that was not made, correct?
Okay.
The point about me recounting this is, certainly if we have to go to hearing, we will go to hearing on all of this. But, if that was the only conduct you were considering without the executive order violations, you'd already be discussing discipline in that context and whether a settlement of a cash fine would be appropriate. And after all that, there was also an issue about.
Yeah, I understand. Can you, let's just go back to the sales minor. If you look at August 1/19 and August 23/19, do you get a sense that there was notice in between the two?
I thought I did that on this case. Let me go back, hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check to see. There's two ways you could have notice of a sale to minor. One is if there's a summons issued, and number two is if you got the notice of pleading.
Right.
So let me take a look. First sale to minor. April 18th.
Gary, there was a summons issued to the person who made the sale on the date of the sale for the first one.
Correct.
Okay.
But I don't know whether that was the owner or just an employee. The notice of pleading on the first sale to minor did not go out until after the second sale to minor.
Okay. And then there's warehousing. Yeah. 2 sell to minor, 1 non-bona fide charge. And I'm seeing 2 COVID dates.
There are 2 COVID dates. Also note that in the third proceeding, they were charged with non-bona fide for having no food available.
Yes.
And then one of the COVID charges was that they were serving alcohol without food in July.
Okay.
The first visit, July 18th, was undisclosed, so they did not have notice that they had been observed to be in violation with 15 in front, people congregating, not having food, before they returned on the following weekend, July 25th, and found 30 people in front with no food, people not wearing masks, etc.
All right.
'They've offered $50,000, 11 p.m. Well, they're offering a version of the usual stipulations now for conduct on about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dates, and they've been open a year and 4 months.
Yeah, okay. COVID is really just the icing on the cake. As you said, there is a non-bona fide charge and multiple sale to minors with notice. So I'm going to counter and cancel the bond.
Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, their history is pretty terrible. as Commissioner Fan said, code violations are icing on the cake. I'm gonna go with canceling bond as well.
All right. The next item, or items, are 1139R, S, and T. It's a request for reconsideration of a prior counteroffer. And related to that, I pulled out, is items 1139 double A, double B, double C, double D, and double E.
Yes, thank you, Tom. To refresh the members' recollection, these are two locations in Queens with the same ownership. They were summarily suspended on the same day. They went to court and ultimately got no relief from the judge on the suspensions. The one location is in Kew Gardens, the other is on Steinway Street in Astoria, Queens. And based on the number of pending charges for the Makers location, initially the licensee, the owners of both places, told us that they would go to hearing on Makers Bar and Grill, and offered $45,000 to settle Don Q. I believe there was a counter of cancel and bond. And then they came back and said, we will agree to close our Steinway Street place and raise our offer on Don Q to $50,000 if the board will accept that. So based on that change and significant commitment from Don Q to pay that high a fine on one of their two places, the matter is now back in front of the board.
So I will accept 50,000 on the Don Q matter and accept cancel and bond on the Makers.
So for Don Q, their proposal is 50,000, 11 p.m. closing for service, and background music only in the outdoor space. That's what you're accepting?
No,
No music.
or countering.
So it's going to be a counteroffer of 50,000.
No music, 11 p.m. close,
Okay.
and 50,000.
I mean, and to me, both of them probably deserve to be revoked, given what they contributed to when they did in this area in Queens. They were both significantly involved in what was going on in the streets in, earlier this summer in that area.
Okay, so then Commissioner Ford, on items R, S, and T, where are you at?
Accept 50,000, 11 p.m. close and no music.
So counteroffer,
Same as.
a counteroffer, yes.
Yes.
Chairman Bradley,
I'll do the same. What did she say? 50,000 and it's contingent on the other place being closed, right?
Yes.
no,
Yeah, they have it in here.
I don't,
The only way I'm accepting is,
It's not contingent to separate matter, but they've offered to cancel and bond on that, and that's before you today as well.
and that's next.
oh,
Right.
okay.
Okay, so 50,000, a new counter offer, 50,000, no music, 11 p.m. closing. Now we do that other matter, which is 1139, double A, double B, double C, double D, and double E.
And I will
Which is
Well,
accept-
so hold on, before we do this. We countered on the first one. Where does that leave us on this one?
They're making an offer.
This one had not been before you before. They've now.
So this is not contingent on us accepting the other thing.
No, they offered these two, yes, and you just accepted the other one.
No, we
So
didn't.
now-
No,
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, you
Well,
counted on it.
Well, yeah, minor counter, but we accepted the money, but changed.
Fair
They're
point.
trying to, everybody out here is trying to play games with the wording. And the bottom line is, as Commissioner Fan has made it clear, and we've all agreed with her, is it's closed at 11. So if anybody misunderstands, it's not ending service at 11. You are closed at 11. It's not music outside, it's not music just inside, it's no music, or it's only background music. So this playing with words in these offers by these licensees or these attorneys is only going to get you a counteroffer. And that's what we did on the first one. So I don't know whether this is still pending.
I believe,
We'll
Let me-
accept it, and then I'll give them reconsideration if it isn't.
that's what I was gonna suggest.
Okay.
Commissioner Fan on the next matter.
I will accept canceling
Okay.
bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Canceling bond.
Chairman Bradley, you're accepting.
Yes.
The next matter, 1139U. It's a CNC of $20,000. There's a summary suspension in effect, and Chairman, you are recused.
Yes.
For the record, this was a single day set of charges, although there are several of them. Loud music was playing, people standing and waiting, tables too close. The only food available was 2-ounce cups of soup. The application actually says that they're supposed to have a full-time chef and a full menu. A series of fire code violations. Not bona fide because of the food, pre-mixing as well, and a disorderly for the noise.
Adam, what is the method of operation for this licensee?
It's a restaurant, bar, cafe.
Do they have security guards or no security guards?
Recorded music, no dancing. Security guards,
No, they were actually,
no security
they
personnel.
were charged and disciplined for having security guards that were not on their application in the one adverse history matter from January 2019.
Okay,
Ready to vote then?
Yep.
Commissioner Fan,
I will accept I will counter 20,000 with 11 PM close, no music, and they need to file a change of method of operation to add security guards. Because their letters say that they're gonna hire even more security guards now.
all right then, Commissioner Ford,
I was gonna counter 25, but I'll
Yeah.
do 20
all right, and everything else?
and everything else.
Okay. Next item, 1139D. It's a conditional contest offer of $25,000, 11 PM closing, and background music only. This is a summary suspension case.
This is pretty blatant.
Yeah.
You said 1139B is in Victor?
Yes,
Okay.
He is the victor.
13 individuals drinking inside. To-go orders without food. 2 employees without masks,
Including the manager.
including the manager.
One event, they've already been fined $10,000 for a number of charges that took place almost within 3 months of opening. Although that's all we have on them since May of 2018.
Alright. In which case I will accept the offer as written, except it's background music, not background music.
Yeah, is that a joke?
I don't know. He did that on 2 cases, so I don't think it's a joke.
Ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll accept as well on those same terms.
I'll accept too.
next item, 1139W. This is a CNC for $10,000 with an emergency summary suspension in place.
I will accept 10,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I will accept 10,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley?
So just to be clear, Gary, this licensee has agreed to comply with the 50-person limit on any weddings
Correct.
until that changes, if it changes? All right, I'll accept.
Next item, 1139X, conditional no contest offer of $10,000. There is a summary order of suspension in effect.
10,000 accept. I would put on 11 PM close and background music only.
So counter offer of 10,000, 7 p.m. closing, recorded background music only. Commissioner Ford?
Licensee claims, says they don't have a kitchen, nor do they prepare food.
They have in their letter indicated that that was in fact incorrect, that they do have the ability to prepare food as a tavern, which they are.
Okay.
Right, Gary?
Correct.
I'll accept.
Are you accepting the offer or the counter
The
offer?
counter offer, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll accept with the including, based on the representation that there is food available.
Right.
If food is found to be unavailable, then
Are
I'm
you
accepting her counter offer here.
agreeing with the counter offer?
Yes,
Okay.
But just saying that I'm believing the representation by the licensee that food is available, or
Right.
will be made available.
And next item
Can we-
is elect.
Can we take a break, please?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna take a brief recess. All right, we are back on the record after a brief recess.
So on this boxcar matter, I'm going to just vote to accept the offer as written.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
Commissioner Ford?
10,000. I will accept as well.
All right, then the next item is 1139Y. It's a conditional offer for $12,000. The licensee is subject to a summary suspension order.
People inside playing pool and drinking and not wearing masks. The employees were not wearing masks either. Adam, is this guy Father Renewal?
Just one moment. It does not look like we've received the renewal payment for this yet, no.
All right.
All right, I'll counter 12,000 with 11 p.m. close, background music only.
11 p.m. background only.
And the same money order.
Yes.
I will do the same.
All right then. Next item is 1139FF. This is a conditional offer of $30,000 plus a 11 p.m. closing and no music other than background music. And Chairman, you have to recuse yourself from this one. There is a summary in effect.
Okay, for the record, this is a location that, that's adverse history. They ran up $22,000 worth of fines between 2016 and 2018. There are executive order violations on 2 occasions, July 25th and then August 10th. On July 25th, they were not serving food. People were congregating outside in the seating area and standing. 4 waitresses were not wearing masks. They were serving after 11 and they were warned. And then, I guess 2 weeks later, they were found to be violating essentially the same restrictions. They claimed to be serving food, but then they couldn't produce any checks that showed that they were serving food. And that's when the location was suspended by the board.
Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Fan, I should just say that the settlement offer included a statement from the licensee's lawyer that the owner will now be around and supervising and that food will now be cooked and I guess served.
All right, I will accept 30,000. I will accept the offer as written.
Okay. Commissioner Ford?
I'll accept the offer as written as well.
All right then. The next item, 1139GG. This is also a conditional no contest offer, $15,000, 11 p.m. closing, and no music other than background music. Chairman, you're recused, and there's a summary suspension order in effect for this license.
And I will accept as written.
Commissioner Ford?
Been licensed since 2006. I'll accept as written as well.
All right, there are no other items on the calendar. However, I've been advised that Council's office has several requests for summary suspension orders. So I would propose that we take a brief recess so the members can review the materials and then we can reconvene and take care of those matters.
Okay?
Right.
Hey, Tom, this is Adam joining by phone. I'm off camera now.
Okay, I was wondering who that is. Okay, so we're back on the record after a brief recess. We have 4 additional items on today's calendar, the 9/2/2020 calendar. So just note for the record that Deputy Roberts is now joining us by phone. And we will proceed to the first added item, which is agenda number 1139HH. It's a special summary, an emergency summary order of suspension regarding Suffolk A 1290539. The licensee is Plaza Papo Deli Corp.
Good morning, everybody. Jamie Gallagher appearing on behalf of the authority. This matter is being brought before you today for consideration of an emergency summary order of suspension pursuant to State Administrative Procedure Act 401 sub 3. This premises is located in Suffolk County. It is licensed as a grocery beer store with an A-class license. The premises was originally licensed on January 26th of 2016, and the current license expires December 31st of 2020. On August 29th, Investigator Stravali visited the licensed premises. He first made observations from the exterior for approximately 10 minutes and observed approximately 11 individuals enter the establishment without masks. These individuals were not exercising proper social distancing protocol either. At 6:40 p.m., an underage agent, 18 years of age, working with the Suffolk County Police, entered the establishment and was able to purchase one 12-ounce can of Bud Light beer. The underage agent also attempted a bottle return, which was refused. Investigator Stravali then entered the premises and observed the following. He observed 10 patrons, approximately, listening to music and watching a sporting event on a large screen TV in the rear of the premises. The individuals were in possession of open containers of beer, and several were standing and consuming these beverages without masks. Open cups and containers containing beer were all over the interior of the premises. There were also cups stacked, open bags of cups stacked behind the counter that the manager who was working there was using to pour beer into to serve the patrons on the establishment's premises. Those were behind the counter. Also in the back area were a jukebox, which somebody was actually putting money into to play music, and a gambling device, kind of like a slot machine type of thing. The manager was questioned about the gambling device and indicated that it dispenses a ticket if you win, and then there was some person that he would call to deliver the payout to the patron who was playing the game. Behind the counter were prescription drugs for sale. Specifically, there were antibiotics, chloroquine, and tadalafil pills. Let's see. The manager was arrested and charged with criminal diversion of prescription medication. Also behind the counter was a hard liquor mixture known as Mama Juama. It contains gin and rum and some type of tree bark. The manager admitted to purchasing beer from an unauthorized source, that being Brentwood Market, which is a grocery licensed as Suffolk AX 1044142. He had a receipt on the premises that he provided to Investigator Stravali showing the purchase from the unauthorized source. He said he did this because he ran out of a specific type of beer that his customers were interested in, so he went and got it another AX. The manager was observed without a proper facial covering. The licensee is being charged with 10 counts in the notice of pleading. There are 4 counts of improper conduct for violations of the executive order and for criminal diversion of prescription medication, non-bona fide consumption of alcohol on the premises, gambling, sale to minor, storage of unauthorized alcohol, purchase from an authorized source. It is submitted that this premises, based on the facts presented, cannot be trusted to follow these or any other executive orders or laws of the ABC. And it is requested that an emergency summary order of suspension be issued at this time. Thank you.
Yeah, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you, Tom.
Commissioner Ford, any questions?
I have no questions.
Chairman Bradley?
I have no questions.
All right, with that, I'll call for your votes. First, Commissioner Fan.
Based on the evidence presented by Ms. Gallagher, it's clear that this licensee is using his off-premise license for on-premise service and then also selling liquor, using his location as a pharmacy, and also allowing gambling, and no one is practicing any social distancing, no one is following any COVID guidelines. This is an imminent threat to public health, welfare, and safety. I vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford, your vote.
With the underage sale, jukebox and gambling device on premises, prescription drugs on premises, hard liquor, which is against their license, purchasing beer from an unauthorized source, and other issues stated by Councilor Gallagher, I vote to summarily suspend.
And Chairman Bradley.
Based on the pictures presented and the evidence presented by Ms. Gallagher, it's obvious that this licensee has turned into an on-premise licensee as well as what appears to be a potential pharmacy. As a result, I think it's clear that they are a risk to public health, safety, and welfare and have to be summarily suspended.
The next item we have is 1139 double I. It's Queens RW 1279560. La Troncolina Restaurant and Food Operations, Inc.
Good afternoon, members. This is Margarita Marsico from Council's office. I'm requesting that you issue an order of summary suspension as to La Troncolina Restaurant located at 102-10 37th Avenue in Corona, New York. Investigator Matthew Davis did this inspection. He observed there were 6 patrons drinking beer inside. The room where they were drinking was darkened. He said he needed to use his cell phone flashlight to actually see what was going on in there. There were 2 waitresses that were inside without masks. The patrons that were inside drinking in the dark, 5 of them were not wearing masks. One kitchen staff member who was inside the premise was not wearing a mask. He was a person that he saw cleaning. There's a photograph of the fellow cleaning in front of the vegetables in the basement kitchen. He was not wearing a mask. Investigator Davis also saw a fellow that looked like he may have been a cook because he had the white coat walking up the steps from the basement, and he also was not wearing a mask. There were 10 to 15 people in front of the licensed premise sitting at tables that were not socially distanced. They were small tables and they were not over 6 feet apart. There was a person, a male, singing. It looks like they were doing karaoke. He was singing a song into a microphone. The investigator noted that the music inside was also blasting. The owner was not present, and as the method of operation indicates, the owner, whose name is Maria Sanchez Marilla, said that she was going to be personally supervising the premise. She was nowhere to be found. I would note that this premise does have an extensive history, and I noted in the prior history the fact that the licensee principal was not around, has been charged in the past as a failure to conform to the method of operation. In many of the prior incidents that I reviewed, I did not see her name appearing. It always appeared that a woman named Maria Corarizaga was supervising as the manager. I didn't see the name of the owner mentioned in many of the prior violations, and they include sale to minor, disorderly premise, all occurring in 2019, sale to intoxicated patron, and they paid over $15,000 in fines for that, which are adjudicated. They also have 4 pending notices of pleadings, mostly related to excessive noise. and failure to conform to the method of operation because they're using DJs instead of a jukebox, which is what they're authorized to be using. And that's the reason why licensing, I believe they're on SAPA currently. So it appears that this location is not being adequately supervised or in violation of 202.3, 202.38, and 202.43, and failure to supervise. So for these reasons, I'm requesting that you issue an order of summary suspension.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Ford, any questions?
Yes, Counselor, the pictures look like some of the patrons are literally passed out. Is that correct?
Yes, Commissioner, Investigator Davis said that some of them did look like they were passed out, intoxicated.
No further questions, thank you.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
So do we know if this owner is even still around?
The investigator, I asked him because he ordinarily makes an effort to call the owner by phone, but he said there was a bit of a language barrier. So she was not there and he was not able to try to reach out to her by phone. And I don't know if there's been any further investigation on that.
But your previous history indicates that she was not around then as well.
No, it's always a different.
So can you make sure that enforcement follows up to basically call her in and make sure she still exists
Yes, Chairman.
as the owner?
Yes.
That would probably solve the case very quickly if she does not.
All right, any questions? All right, we'll move to the vote then. First, Commissioner Fan.
Given the evidence presented, this location is imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. This owner has allowed a lot of indoor service and customers hanging out inside with no face coverings and no social distancing. And due to that, I am going to vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to summarily suspend for all the same reasons.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to summarily suspend based on the evidence that indicates there was significant indoor service going on, people, patrons as well as employees without masks, which all of which is a known risk to the public health, safety, and welfare. So I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, then the next item I have, also a request for emergency summary suspension. Item 1139JJ, Queens OP 1281619. The licensee is CJ Diamond Cafe, Inc.
Good afternoon, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, William Brennan for Counsel's Office. I'm here today to request the board summarily suspend the licensee for violating Executive Orders 202.3 and 202.41, and also failing to supervise the licensed premises. CJ Diamond Cafe, Inc. has been licensed since December of 2014. The premises is located at 41-02 College Point Boulevard, Flushing, Queens. On September 1st, 2020, at approximately 11:30 p.m., deputies from the New York City Sheriff's Office arrived at the licensed premises in response to a complaint that there were, quote, hundreds of people entering the karaoke bar after hours, unquote. When the deputies arrived, they observed a group of people heading into the establishment. Upon gaining entry into the premises, deputies observed approximately 30 patrons inside the premises and between 75 and 100 other patrons departing the premises through an emergency exit. 2 rooms inside the premises were occupied with patrons, some of whom were singing, some were drinking, and some were even smoking, in clear violation of EO 202.3 and 202.41. Several other rooms inside the premises were found empty, but with beer and liquor setups on the now vacant tables. The deputies found several individuals who were employees or agents of the licensee. One individual had a security radio and earpiece. Another individual was in possession of the keys to the main office. 3 other individuals who possessed identification indicating that they were cooks for the premises were found hiding near the emergency exit. The sheer number of people who were inside the premises drinking, singing, smoking, etc. after 11:30 p.m. in New York City is certainly compelling evidence that this licensee cannot be trusted to adhere to the executive orders and SLA rules and guidelines that are in place to protect the public during this pandemic. Based on the deputy's observations and the pictures contained with the report, it's clear that this licensee has shown a blatant disregard for the governor's executive orders and the authority's rules and guidelines. The manner in which this licensee is conducting business possesses an immediate threat to the safety, health, and welfare of the public during this terrible pandemic. We respectfully request that the board issue an emergency order suspending this licensee.
All right, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No.
Commissioner Ford, any questions?
Is this a karaoke establishment? Is that what they're licensed as, Counselor?
Yes, Commissioner, their method of operation is a karaoke and billiard premises serving liquor, beer, wine, and cider.
Thank you.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
I have no question.
All right, with that, I'll call for your votes. First, Commissioner Fan.
This place is a clear threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I vote to summarily suspend this license based on the evidence presented by counsel. It's very clear that this licensee have no interest in protecting himself, his employees, or his customers from COVID-19.
Commissioner Ford, your vote, please.
I vote to summarily suspend based on the evidence provided by counsel. Clearly, this place is a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare.
Chairman Bradley, your vote.
I vote to summarily suspend as well. It's obvious from the pictures and the evidence presented that this place is a clear threat to the public health, safety, and welfare.
All right, the next item I have, also request for emergency summary order suspension. Item 1139, KK, New York OP 1315232. Licensee is MJD Bar Ventures 1 LLC.
Good afternoon, members. This is Margarita Marsico on behalf of counsel's office. I'm requesting that you issue an order of emergency order of summary suspension as to this premise, MJD Venture LLC, doing business as Black Empire Bar, located at 197 2nd Avenue in the East Village. On August 31st of 2020, the EO task force made observations at approximately 7 p.m. The photographs tell the story. In the photographs, you see there's 8 patrons standing in front of, drinking and congregating. And you can see that there's other people from those photographs as well that are standing to the left as you face the premise, to the left and right of the premise. The investigators also saw 3 patrons sitting inside the premise at the bar with drinks in front of them. And 1 customer was standing inside the bar with a drink in his hand. They then saw that same customer drinking out of the cup. When the investigators confronted one of the licensee principals, who's one of the LLC members, who was present during the inspection, about the fact that he's not supposed to be serving alcohol inside, that he's only allowed to serve alcohol with food, etc. His response was, in particular with regard to the people congregating in front of, he said that they're standing there drinking because they're celebrating one of the last days of the operation of the bar tavern. So that was his excuse. We granted this license in April of 2019. So for these reasons, we're requesting that you issue an order of summary suspension.
Thank you, Margarita. It's Gary. For the record, if this was indeed his last day of operation, then so be it. But we don't know whether he's going to continue to operate or not. His only excuse for not following multiple executive orders is that it was his last day. So he had no defense. We don't think this place can stay open in this respect, and that's why we've asked for a summary suspension.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
Margarita, do we have any pictures of the people inside?
No.
Commissioner Ford, any questions?
I have no questions, so thank you.
Chairman Bradley.
No question.
All right, then I'll call for your votes. First, Commissioner Fan.
Given the evidence provided, this licensee is blatantly ignoring the governor's executive order due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
Based on evidence provided by counsel, I vote to summarily suspend as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Based on the pictures and the evidence provided by counsel, I vote to summarily suspend. It's clear that this place is operating as a risk to public health, safety, and welfare.
All right then. Chairman, I have no other items on the calendar. Anything else you want to been up?
No,
All right, then with that, we are adjourned. I thank you all.
thank you all.
Thank
Have a
you.
good trip back.